So, good afternoon and happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Money Mantra. Today, we will actually be on the charts. If you are unfamiliar with this series, it's typically broken down into two parts. On Mondays and Fridays, we are on the charts, studying chart patterns and how to make money from Wi Fi, specifically how to analyze the foreign exchange market. But you can also take this information and apply it to any type of market where buying and selling is involved, which does include stocks. So I really love that. The second part of the money mantra is typically on Wednesdays and it's called off the charts. And that's when we really get into shifting our mindsets about money so that we are able to believe that we can make this money. We are able to believe that we can clear and just talk about overall advancement in our financial journeys. So it's pretty exciting. If you guys have not had a chance to check out previous episodes, make sure that you are subscribed to the Cosmic Club on YouTube, right? You can type in the money mantra and any strategy that you're looking for, it'll come up. It's pretty organized. There's about over 40 videos there. So make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you never miss an update when I drop videos. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys today. Today, we are going to be talking about peaks and valleys and essentially how to identify your entry points with the naked eye. It's pretty simple. I'm always going to say that. I'm going to share my screen. And when you guys can actually see my screen, just please let me get some sevens in the chat so I can know that we are all on the same page with this training. Right? Let me pull up the chat, make sure I can see. Just let me get some sevens when you guys can see my screen. All right, awesome. Thank you so much. I see the sevens are rolling in. So first and foremost, this is going to be a training about peaks and valleys. Just meaning how to identify buying and selling points in the market with your naked eye. It's going to be a simple technique that I use. Anybody can use it. Honestly, if you take some notes, you pay attention, and you use common sense when trading. Now, for people who have never been on a trading session before, I am going to go over some basics as to what you are actually looking for and what's going to help you figure out the best time to enter this market. So first and foremost, we're always going to start by checking the news. And we check the news by visiting forexfactory.com. This has not changed. I am going to spend a little bit more time here today since we are talking about those ups and downs because I want to demonstrate how the market is supposed to be moving and how the market may move sometimes based on the news that has come out, right? So first and foremost, what we're going to be focusing on today is mainly just harmonic patterns, right? And that is the rhythm of the market. What is it typically doing? What is it always doing? And what discrepancies are you looking for to manage your risk? So the first thing I want to draw your attention to before I get into this example is at the top, right, on Forex Factory, we see here Euro USD, right? We see GBP USD, we see USD JPY, and so on and so forth. These are just all different currency pairs. So this is the euro versus the United States dollar. This is the Great British pound against the United States dollar. This is the United States dollar against the Japanese yen, and so on and so forth. Now, what I really want to show you guys is that the market is always going to be in this rhythmic pattern of either M or a W. So we'll have moments where it's going up, it'll go down, and then it'll go up again, right? So that's the Euro USD market. Now let's look at GBP USD, right? It's going to go down, it's going to come up, it's going to go down, then it's going to come back up. And what you're going to notice is that I'm simply just tracing the candles, right? I'm going from a high point to a low point to a high point, right? To a low point to a high point to a low point. And you're going to notice that no matter which market that you're in, right, you're always going to get that M or W pattern, right? Now, if you guys can see that, just go ahead and drop some threes in the chat so that you understand what I'm doing. I'm just connecting the top of the candles and the bottom of the candles to make sure that I'm seeing what the pattern is in the market. All right, awesome, right? So I want you guys to just keep an eye on the black up here because that is how the market moves regardless. Now, typically the market will have a selling point and it'll have a buying point. So I'm just going to draw this out, right? The top line is going to represent where we sell. The bottom line is going to represent where we buy. So like I said, the market is always going to have this type of rhythm or pattern, right? You will buy at the bottom line and you will sell at the top line. you'll buy at the bottom line and sell at the top line. So you're always getting that pattern. Now, if we were to take this, for example, that would be our top line, right? And that would be our bottom line. So we can see that wherever the candles are hitting this top line, those would be potential entry zones for a sell, right? And wherever the candles are hitting the bottom line, that will be an entry zone for a buy. Why? Because once the candle actually hits that bottom line, price goes back up. So this black is representing typical market movement. Now, when you come to forexfactory.com, you want to look at the time of day, right? It's about 2:10 right now. We don't really have any. Let me just click down here and see what's up. So we don't really have any news around 2 o'clock, which is amazing. But I do want to demonstrate what these folders are actually showing you, right? Plain and simple, because this is all we're talking about today. So here we go. We got typical market movement, right? It's going to be very predictable. You know, once it gets in this region, it'll sell. Once it gets in this region, it'll buy. Now, if you were looking at, let's just say, 1 second, guys. All right, here we go. Now, if you were looking at the United States dollar, right, around 8:30 a.m. today, you would have noticed that we had a red folder. Now, of course, we have the place where the market will typically sell, the place where the market will typically buy. But what you're going to notice with the red markets is that the market will typically break structure, right? A red folder is symbolizing high impact news. So where you thought you would sell here, it may break out and you may have a new resistance line, right? Where you thought you would buy here, it may break down and you may have a new support line, right? So a red market is going to consistently be creating new peaks and valleys, and it's always going to break structure, right? It's pretty unpredictable. And with trading or any type of investment that you're doing, you want to manage your risk and you want to know if it's red. Pretty much, let's avoid that, right? Now, if we get an orange folder, again, we have that top line where we would typically sell, that bottom line where we would typically buy. And the market will, right? It'll be a little bit more consistent, but it will break structure, right? It can be at the top, it can be at the bottom, but just know that there will be more opportunities for you to sell and or buy because the market is not staying in the same zone all the time. And then last but not least, the best thing you could see is no folder at all. But if there's a yellow folder, you will get the closest, right, to typical market movement, right? It's not going to break structure as often, which means it'll be a little bit more predictable for you to find those entry points. Now, if you guys understand that visual and what we're actually looking for, right, that pattern, just go ahead and drop some threes in the chat. All right, you understand what we're looking for so far. All right, awesome. So the next thing we're actually going to do is we're going to go to pocketoption.com. Now, Pocket Option is the broker that I will be using today. It's pretty simple. It's pretty user friendly, right? It has everything you need to get into trades, and it gives you a lot of different assets to trade. So typically, if you are on a live session, you don't have to worry about the currency pair not being there, because 9 times out of 10, if you are using this broker, it will be there. If you do not have a Pocket Option account, right, and you're interested in learning how to trade, right, if you're interested in learning how to trade, you can just go to pocketoption.com, click register, and you can actually get a demo account with 1,000 virtual dollars to start out with, and you'll be able to trade that way. So just let me get past this security stuff. All right, y'all, they're telling me that that's not my email, so let's just take it to the second demo account. Give me 1 second. Pocket Option acting like you don't know me. All right, palm trees, palm trees, palm trees. Yo, I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna try this one more time. All right. All right, there we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. Now let's go over to the demo account. All right, so this is Pocket Option. This is the broker that we use to trade HFX or high frequency trading. You can format your chart any way you want to, but the way that I have mine is easier for me to read and understand. Now, first and foremost, we've already checked the news, so we know which currency pairs to avoid or which currency pairs we can tap into. And so far, everything looked good. So we're just going to click here. And I always start at the top of the list and work my way down. There's no particular reason or rhythm to it. I have OCD and it just works better for me that way, right? So we're going to click Euro USD because that's the currency pair that we're going to be focused on. Now, for your chart, you may be looking at candles, which is completely fine. You'll get to see every single move that the market is doing. But I prefer to have my chart on a line graph because all we really care about is this blue dot, right? If you pay attention to this blue dot is telling you where price is at currently in the market. And you can also find that right here under strike price. So the entire price is actually, you can see that the market is trading at $1, right? For every $1.12 euro, right, you're going to get $1 from the United States, right? But for HFX, we're only going to pay attention to the last 3 digits. So, for example, you can only do two things in this market. You can buy or you can sell. Now, I don't want you guys to take any trades right now. I'm just demonstrating for new people how the market moves. Now, if we were to get in for a sell, right, let's just say we said if the market gets to 531, right? 531 or anything above that, we would click the red button, right? And as long as the market stays under 531 for the time that we choose to stay in the trade, which can be anywhere between 1 minute and 4 hours, then we would essentially make the profit. Now, the payout is important because, well, your percentage is important because it's going to tell you what the payout is. So let's just go in for this trade for an example, right? So we can see that the market pushed above 531. And we did click that red button, putting us into the trade, which we can see right here demonstrated by this red line. We can also see that we risked $100 in this trade, right? And we decided to stay in this trade for only 1 minute. So there's about 45 seconds left in this trade. And in order for us to actually make money, to get our $100 back and to get that additional $81, this blue dot, right, which is the live price, would have to stay under our entry price. Now, what a lot of people don't know is that if you actually click on the trade that you're currently in, all of the details of that trade will pop up. So it'll actually tell you where you got into the trade, right? We got into the trade at 537, right? We can currently see that the market is 7 points above our entry, meaning that we may not take profit on this trade. Remember, for a sell, it has to be under the line, right? So we got 2 seconds left, right? And we did not clear the trade by 1 point. Hopefully you guys not into that trade because this is just an example. And then it goes the other way around. If I click the green button, we're going to see a green line pop up, letting us know that we entered the market for a buy. Now, as you can see again, we are currently in profit because the opening price was 544. The current price is 542, right? In order for us to clear and make money on a buy, the blue dot will have to stay above that green line. Now, the purpose of doing your analysis so that you don't lose money while doing these trades and you know what you're looking for. And the best way to do that is to recognize the peaks and valleys that are in the market with your naked eye, right? So we have 10 seconds left in this trade. It's looking like a break-even trade, which is completely fine. Again, this is just an example. Oh, or it's looking like a clear. So when you do clear, you'll notice that your balance will go from 1542 and in this case 1723, which is amazing. Now let's actually get into the analysis and what we're looking for. Now I'm going to be using the Liberty Scanner powered by IM Mastery Academy to do these trades. The only way to get access to this particular scanner is to be a member of IM Academy. Now, if you guys are interested in learning to trade or learning more, you can visit ourcosmicclub.com and visit the Learn More tab, where you'll be able to see a full presentation on how simple it is to do this and actually be able to get started on your own terms as well. Now, you also have the option to, you'll notice that in the bottom left corner of the Liberty Scanner, there's a blue cloud, right, telling you that you can switch over to TradingView since IM Academy has a partnership with TradingView, and you can also alternatively set up your charts that way. Now, the thing that is a con about trading views that does not come with training videos, and you have to set up your chart yourself versus just logging into your scanner and you have everything done for you. Now, today, we're going to be using a strategy called Simple Scalper, right? Now, IM Academy comes preloaded with 4 strategies for HFX, and Simple Scalper is pretty easy to read, just like the name says. It's pretty simple, right? So we're going to choose our strategy. The next thing we're going to do is click on the screen to change our currency pair. You can click anywhere on the screen, and I want to go to Euro USD. And because we're trading on such a small time frame, right, anywhere between 1 and 3 minutes, we're going to do our analysis on M5, right? That just means that the frequency at which the market is being scanned is every 5 minutes, right? So if you guys are following along so far and you're all caught up, right? You're on Euro USD and you're ready to get into these trade examples, just go ahead and drop some 7s in the chat. All right, thank you very much. Now, when you're using the simple scalper strategy, what I like to use, I like to keep everything pretty simple and straightforward. I like to use something called trigger words, and trigger words just let me know what I'm looking at in the market. Now, if we're looking for a buy, and let me just go to a good example in the market. I also like that the Liberty scanner and any other scanner you actually choose to use will give you a bunch of tools to help you mark up your charts or to take notes so that you don't have to mentally remember everything. Now I like to use the trend line, right? But I click on it, I click vertical line. Personally, I'm gonna just make it darker. I'm gonna make it up the line a little bit thicker just so we can see it. And I'm gonna highlight this candle for you guys, right? And I only want us to focus on the candle that is between the 2 black lines, right? Because I'm going to show you guys what a buy would look like in the market. And how do you know if you take that buy entry or if you take that sell entry? Now, first and foremost, trigger words for a buy will be blue, right? So anytime you see something blue, you want your mind to go, okay, I should be focusing on a buy. The market is going up. So let's just put a check mark here because we have a blue candle, right? Now, what you're going to notice on this chart is that you're going to see red candles, you're going to see blue candles, but if you see blue, that's just a signal for a buy. The second thing you want to look for if you're trying to decide if you want to buy or sell is you want to pay attention to these little purple dots, right? And more specifically, you want to pay attention to the purple dot that's under the candle that you're focused on. Now, if the purple dot, it's called a parabolic SAR, is under the candle, right? Is letting you know that the price, candle is the price, is above trend and that the market will continue to go up. And if we look at what happened, right? Well, if we look at what's going on, that's exactly what happened. We had a blue candle with the parabolic SAR. We had the market go up here, right? And then we can see that it continued to go up, right? It continued to go up. It continued to stay above the trend. If you guys can see that, drop some 3s in the chat. Right? It went all the way up here. We got the blue candle, we got the parabolic SAR, and then we can see the market went in the upward motion. Right? The other thing it could have done was went in a downward motion. Right? So that's 2 confirmations that we look for: blue candle and candle above the SAR. Now, you're going to notice these volume bars, all these things down here are volume bars, but the volume bars should always, always, always correspond with the color of the candle. That's just giving you more insight that you're trading on trend and you're paying attention to the right things. And then last but not least, I like to call these 2 indicators down here the twins, right? Because they'll typically be doing the same thing. And again, it's very simple. If the line is facing up, the market is going up. If the line is facing up, the market is going up. So this is a clear, right? We have a clear confirmation that once the market revisits this area, that will be an amazing place to get in for a buy. Now let's get into the peaks and valleys. I'm just going to draw with my pencil, but you can always use another tool to create this pattern for yourself so that you see it. And I typically only work with what I can see on my screen, so it's not overwhelming and it's not too much going on. So let's just start from here. We have the top of the candle, bottom of the candle, right? We have top, right? Candles went up there. Then we have bottom, top, Sorry, y'all, my line's a little crooked. Bottom, top, bottom, right, top, right? And you only want to do the lines where the candles are. Now, once you get that pattern in your mind, remember you don't have to draw it out, but as long as you can see it, then you can place your horizontal lines to know what your entry point will be. So we will place one right here, right? Because it's at the top of those peaks, right? A lot of peaks touch that line. And then we will also place one here, right? Because we see some valleys, right? Now, peaks are at the top, of course, and valleys are at the bottom. Now, this gives us some insight into what we should actually be doing in the market, right? We have some guidance on where to go. So I'm just going to move my vertical lines over so that we're focused on this candle. And then we're going to count our confirmations, right? So this one looks a little sketchy, but I want to show you how this will work in real time on a real candle, right? So we have a red candle, right? That's one confirmation for a sell. We have I don't see where the parabolic star is. So let me erase this drawing. I don't see the star. So give me 1 second to move these lines to see if it's at the top or the bottom. All right, it's still at the bottom. So we have one confirmation for a sell. We have one confirmation for a sell, right? We have a second confirmation for a sell, right? Then we can also see that this line is facing down, right? Telling us that the market is going down. And this line was facing down, telling us that the market is going down. Now the SAR is blue, but that's okay because we still have more than enough confirmations for the sell. And because we already did our peaks and valleys, we know that a potential place to get in for that sell will be around 616, right? Will be around 616. So in case anybody got lost, all we did was count the confirmations on the candle, right? We got a red candle, right? That's one confirmation. We got a red volume bar. That's two confirmations. We had our RSI facing down. That's three confirmations. And we had our stochastic facing down, which is four confirmations, right? And of course, if it's blue, then you would just take the trade in the opposite way, already having an entry point down here as well. So 490 will be your potential buy, and 616 will be your potential sell, right? Now let's actually go back to our scanner and see where the market is at. Annotate, clear, right? So we can see that the market is at 600, right? And we know that if the market gets to 616 or higher, then we would get in for a sell. You guys can be into the sell for 1 minute. You guys can be into this sell for 2 minutes or 3 minutes. But it's going to be completely up to you, right? Now, of course, if you want to find an even tighter or smaller entry point, you have the option to lower your time frame to 1 minute, right? And then, of course, you can do the same exact thing, right? Now, let me delete these lines so we don't get confused. You would do the same exact thing. And I'm just going to first draw it out with my pencil so that we can see. So we have the market going up. We have the market going down. We have the market going up. So we have a peak. We have a peak. We have a valley. We have a valley, right? Peaks are at the top. Valleys are at the bottom. We get our horizontal line, place it at the top of that peak, right? We get our horizontal line. We place it at that valley, right? We place another line at that valley. And then, of course, we can delete the drawings so we don't get confused. We just need to recognize the pattern. And then we'll have our entry points. So now we know another potential entry to sell at will be 595 or higher. And another potential entry to buy will be 562 or higher. So now we know, based on a 1 minute time frame and a 5 minute time frame, we can get into a sell anywhere between 595 and 616. So once you guys do get into this trade, whether you're using or your demo or your live account, please let me know what your entry point is and what your time frame is that you're going to be into the trade. Remember, the lowest place that you could sell is 595, and the highest place that the market may shoot up to is 616. And of course, you can choose your time frame as well. So I'm going to do a 1 minute trade. I see that it is above 595, right? So let's see. I got into this trade at 598, and I entered this trade for 1 minute. Right now, the market does have the potential, right, to go all the way back to 616. The higher you enter this trade, the better. But let me know if you guys did decide to get into this trade, how long you decided to stay into this trade, and what your entry point is. As we can see, based on my entry currently, right, I have 33 seconds left in this trade. I'm about, well, I'm no longer in profit now, but we're gonna see what happens, right? Because I'm team trust the trade all the way. Right? 20 seconds left. Currently at break even. I'm not surprised, but we're gonna see what happens. Right? This market could spike me out by 1 point. It could shoot back into profit. It cannot. All right, so as we can see, the market is actually going to climb back to 616, which is the entry point we found on the higher time frame. So we don't want to rush our trades, guys, but we do want to make sure that we're trusting the analysis that's best for us. And as we can see, in this case, it's better to go with the higher analysis. So now we're just going to actually wait, right? We're not going to continue to risk it. You can always come back and do a second analysis, right? You can see where the market actually pushed up to and adjust your lines like such, right? So now we see that 602, right? We can sell anywhere between 602 and 616. And as we can see, if we would have waited just 1 second longer, everybody would be in profit on this trade. Or if you decided to stay in your trade for 3 minutes, you actually are in profit with this trade. So I don't like to rush it. I really like to go with the flow of the market. Let me go back to 5 minutes, right? And we have the same information, 602, right? We got that red candle. We got that red volume bar. We got the stochastic and the RSI facing down, giving us more confirmations for a sell. So if I was you, I would not risk it with the buy. I would just wait for that push up again and then get in for a sell, right? You always want to trade with the trend, right? And it's going to be based on those ups and downs that you see. So if this is making sense, everybody just drop some sevens in the chat. All right, awesome. Now, one thing I do love about the foreign exchange market is that you don't actually have to sit here and wait, right? You can always program this as a pending trade so that when the market does reach that point, it'll automatically enter you into the trade. So shout out to people that's in the chat clearing. Somebody said they cleared twice. I love it. Somebody said they cleared. I love it. I love it. I love it. What time frame did you choose? Right? So this is Euro USD. If you guys want to put in a pending trade for that 602 area, feel free to do so. Or you can sit here and wait. But I'm just going to move on to another currency pair to give you guys another example, right? Well, it's pushing back up now. Has about 14 points to go, but you can wait or you can go to something else. So I'm going to do, wait, there we go. It might be getting back up to that 602, guys. Let's see, 602 or higher, right? With 616 being the pentacle, right? There we go, 603. Do I have enough time? All right, so I took that trade for 1 minute. I am expecting this trade actually to shoot up to 616. That's just what it's looking like. But I did get in at 603, right? I'm waiting for the 616 entry as well. And it may just be a double clear, but let's see. Let's see, let's see, let's see. If you guys did enter the trade this time, you decided to try your luck on the 602 entry, just let me know what your entry actually was and how long you decided to stay in that trade, right? Currently 9 points in profit, 40 seconds left, but anything could happen, right? Anything could happen. But we love, love, love to see the blue dot way below our sell entry. We love it, right? So currently 11 points in profit, 25 seconds left, right? Anything can happen. But we're gonna wait it out. We're gonna see. We got 20 seconds left. 9 points in profit. That's pretty good. I personally like to see 10 points or more to feel comfortable. There we go. 8 points, 11. That's what I like to see. right? 2 seconds left, 1 second left. Amazing. And that was a clear. Entered at 603. If you entered the trade at 603, you actually cleared, right? You actually cleared, which is amazing. Which is amazing. So shout out to everybody that's clearing in the chat who is taking those trade ideas. But now since we see that 602 area is getting a little sketchy, guys, we actually do want to wait for the push up to 616, right? But while the market is taking some time to climb, let's just come back in. It doesn't hurt to always come back and do a second analysis, right? So let's just see what's going on here. We have a blue candle, right? Let's count our confirmations. We have a blue candle. That's one confirmation for a buy. We have the blue candle above the parabolic star, telling us that the market is above the trend, right? We have a blue volume bar, which corresponds with our candle. We love to see that. And we have our stochastic facing up, saying that the market is going up. And we have our RSI going up, telling us that the market is going up. Now, if we were to draw out that M&W shape again, and let me just delete these lines because we're taking it from the top, right? Taking it from the top. We're still on Euro USD, right? Annotate. So let's just say we go from the bottom to the top, to the bottom, to the top, right? We just want to draw that shape, make sure we see it. Then we can put some horizontal lines on here where we see that peak, right? Where we see that valley. So now we have 504 for the buy, 615 for the sell. Of course, we can take it down to a smaller time frame. We can do the same thing again. Let me get a different color. No, I can't use that color. That's gonna be confusing. And we can do the same thing and just see if we can get even smaller zone, right? We can go here, 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 right? Once we get that pattern, we get our horizontal line and we put it where we see those peaks, which is the top point, and where we see those valleys. So here, right, we can see if we're going for a buy, we'll be going for that buy around 583 based on the pattern that we drew. And we can either go for that sell around 600 or the same thing, 615, right? We can go for that sell around 600 or 615 based on what the market is currently doing. I really hope this is making sense, guys, and that you're able to start to identify these things with your naked eye. If it is making sense, drop some sevens in the chat. If it's not making sense, just drop a question mark, right? So we got 583 for that buy and anywhere between 600 and 616 for that sell. All right, so it's making sense. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. 583 for the buy, anywhere between 600 and 616 for that sell, right? But always be mindful if you are analyzing a chart on the 1 minute, you're going to need to make that move quick. If you're analyzing it on a 5 minute, you're going to have a little bit more time, right? You're going to have a little bit more time. I prefer the 5 minute, right? I prefer the 5 minutes to analyze and the 1 minute to trade. Again, if we were to draw this out, we got the up, we got the down, we got the up, right? And that's all we see so far. So that's all we can do. You don't got to stretch it. You don't got to do nothing extra. I'm going to put a line where that peak is. We're going to put a line where that valley is. And of course, you can just notice with your eyes even smaller peaks and valleys. So again, buying 565, selling 642. Buying 565, selling 642. And again, you just got to be patient. The market will get there, right? It will get there. So we'll wait for the 560s, right? And look, it's getting down there. Right now it's at 577. We're looking to buy around 565. Looking to sell around 600, 616, or 642. Right, so market's currently at 571. It needs to drop about 6 more points to give us that entry we're looking for. And let's see if we can get another clear off of this market. There we go. It's at 568. We need a little bit lower. A little bit lower, right? Now, the cool thing about trading too is you don't necessarily have to wait for a particular entry point, but I just know it's easier for people to follow along when I do give an entry point, because you can also work based on zones. And if a candle enters a zone, you'll also be fine to buy or sell there. So our sell zone would be, our sell zone will be anywhere between 600 and 633, and our buy zone would be, and let me just change the color for you guys. So that's for the buy. Enters for the sell. Sell, sell, sell. There we go. There we go. So we can buy anywhere between 541 and 504. I know that's a huge gap. So obviously this is the highest you could buy, 541. This is the lowest you could buy, 504. This is the lowest you could sell, 598. This is the highest you could sell, 633. So it looks like the market does want to get closer to that 541, 565. Let's see, 541 and 565. It's looking a little stuck right here. All right, so let's see, guys. I'm going to take a buy at 561, right? But remember, it can also get to 545. But I did buy in the appropriate zone, right? So let me know when you guys actually do enter into this trade. If you're going to wait for the lower entry at 545, if you did take it at 561, and how long you're actually in this trade. So let me know if you guys are currently in this trade and which entry you did decide to go with. If you waited for 545 or if you took it at 561. All right, so as we can see, again, I opened up the details of my trade. I can see that I'm in for a buy. I can currently see that the market is 7 points below my entry. I can see that I have 27 seconds left in this trade. And the only thing I can do is wait it out. If you did take it at 550 for a buy, so you should be in profit. If you got in for a buy at 550, you should be in profit. And you should have about 13 seconds left as well. Oh man, it's pretty close for you. It's pretty close. Pretty close. So let's see what happens. That was a really close one for you. So let me know if you cleared. That was a really close for my people with the 550 entry. Okay, it broke even, so that's not bad. So now you know that you want to focus on that lower entry at 545, right? And that's why it's so nice to actually mark up your charts before you get into the trade, because you will have several entry points. If the market does not do what you think it's going to do at that time, you know that you have another opportunity, or you already can see where the market is going to revisit next. If that makes sense, guys, just drop some sevens in the chat, right? Because if we would have waited until 545, which was the lowest potential entry, we would be in profit, right, y'all? We will be in profit. So it's just about knowing how to read your charts. And if you actually were to take everything off the chart, you might be able to see the pattern a little bit better. Now, you don't have to do this because the indicators are there to help you, but I'm just showing you how it's so easy to recognize the pattern and to set up your chart in literally 2 to 3 easy steps. So I'm just going to literally delete all of this stuff. I'm going to delete it and I'm going to zoom out. And I just want you to notice the market, because that's how simple it is to find your entries, right? We can start down here. We can go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, right? And then we'll notice we have peak, 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 peak. So remember, your peaks are your selling zones, right? And then you'll notice that you'll have valley, 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 right? And then once you are able to identify those peaks and valleys with your naked eye, you can now set up your resistance at your peaks, right? Resistance is equivalent to peak, right? You can set up your support at your valley, right? So now we have a zone, right? But of course, like I demonstrated when the session first started, the market can always break that structure or break that zone based on how volatile the market is. So you may have another valley, right? You may have another valley, and this will create your second zone. So let me just keep up. Let me just draw this out. So we have the first zone, right, which is between a peak and a valley. We have the second zone where if the market decided to break structure and it didn't want to buy, it will push into this new zone. And then, of course, if the market decided to break structure and it didn't want to stay in this zone, we will have a third zone created, and we will have another line right here. And you can have as many lines as you want, right? So we have that on our 5 minute. And then if you wanted to get an even tighter entry point, you would do the same exact thing for your 1 minute, right? So let me just clear this off the chart. Let me draw the same thing out again on a smaller time frame. Right? So then within the 1 minute, we will have even more zones. So I'm gonna just change the color of this line so we don't get confused, because we would have another peak, another peak, another valley, right? And then if you can just see even more stuff in here, right? You'll be able to really see it with your eyes, guys. So now we would just look and see, what should I do? Should we be preparing to buy with no indicators, guys, based on what you can see right here? Should we be preparing to buy, or should we be preparing to sell? Right? What's more likely to happen, a buy or a sell, based on what the market is currently doing right now? Somebody let me know in the chat. Right? Because the market can buy, it can sell, or it can break structure and move into a different zone. What does it look like is happening? Okay, we got to sell, we got to buy, right? And this is why you need your confirmations, because you can notice what's happening, but it would be a buy, right? It is getting ready for a buy, exactly, right? It is getting ready for a buy simply because it hit the valley point. So now we know it's going to press up. So now we know a potential place that we could buy, because it actually overlaps on the 1 minute and a 5 minute. We can buy, I would say 535 or lower, right? 535 or lower. You should look, it actually got into another zone, but it is below 535. If we got in for a buy, oh, I don't know if I had enough time. I don't know if I had enough time. So here, guys, I got in at 527, which is below 535. I have 20 seconds left. I didn't check my time. That's on me. But I just need the market to go up at least 1 or 2 points, right, in order for me to clear my trade. But I don't have enough time. It's looking like it's going to disrespect me. That's okay. That's on me, y'all. That's on me. If you got into the trade after me, or you took a longer trade, the market is going to push back up. So don't worry about that. But it is definitely going to push up for that buy. As we can see, it's going to go back up now. But yeah, guys, that's really what I wanted to show you guys today. I wanted to show you how to get into the market pretty much using your naked eye. You don't really need a lot of indicators on your chart, but they do help, right? They can help, just to give you more insight into where the market is going. And you can do this on any currency pair. If we were to switch to GBP JPY, you would just come to your scanner, you would do GBP JPY, you will select the 5 minute, right? We don't have any indicators. Of course, you can draw out your ups and downs, right? As far as you can see, just so you have an idea. right? Put your horizontal lines. Letting you know where you can buy or sell. And then you just count your confirmations. So in this case, it's looking like a small blue candle, but the star is at the top. Of course, we would need more indicators to tell. But if we were going by the sell, it would be to sell at 960 or higher for that sell. I mean, yeah, 960 or higher for that sell. If we were going for a sell based on these indicators, and if it was going to push up even more, of course, we will wait for 0.67. So it looks like the market can either stay, right? It can always stay in the zone or it can break the zone. So it's looking like if it gets to 960 or higher, that would be a potential area to sell based on the confirmations that we can see. Right now it's at 970. I got it for a 1-minute sell. And I am expecting the market to drop back down just based on those simple confirmations, even without all of the indicators there. So yeah, guys, it's I like to say HFX is pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty simple. Oops. I just like to say take your time, pay attention to what the market is doing. Because honestly, if you're able to recognize support and resistance, you're able to trade anything, right? You're able to trade HFX, you're able to trade forex, you're able to trade stocks, you're able to trade indices, crypto, right? So if you guys did get into this trade, right, around 970, just let me know what your entry point was and how long you decided to stay into the trade. Because as you guys can see, that was a very quick analysis. All I did was point out those highs and lows, and then I just entered the trade, right? Even without the indicators, right? Even without the indicators, I just knew what I was looking for. So if you guys did enter this trade, let me know. I was able to enter at 971. 5 seconds left, and is looking like a clear, right? We cleared that trade by a lot of points, right? So that's actually going to conclude our session today. I appreciate you guys for coming. Hopefully you guys were able to make some money today. I will be back on Monday at 2 o'clock p.m. And I also will be dropping this video on YouTube. Again, if you are not subscribed to the Money Mantra on YouTube, make sure you click the link. It is in the channel. If you do like this video, you can like, share, subscribe, and again, hit the notification bell so that you never miss an update, right? When I do post a video or go live. And again, if you are interested in learning how to trade on your own, you can visit, right? You can visit me at Our Cosmic Club.com, and it's going to give you all the information you need to get started on your own time, right? You can click the Learn More Now tab, and it'll give you everything you need to know. And if you are ready to take the leap of faith to learn, you can click, right, Learn More, right? You'll find some more videos. You can watch a full presentation, and you can get started on your own time. So that's all I have for you guys today. Everybody have an amazing weekend, and make sure you withdraw. So that's all, folks, and I'll see you on Monday.